What's going on, guys? My name is Sakha, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you guys about how much money I made in my first year as an insurance agency owner. If this is your first time tuning in, a little bit about myself. I started this insurance agency journey about 5 years ago. I started an Allstate insurance office from scratch, meaning I had no clients, no customers, no nothing. And I grew this thing to about a $5 million book of business, and we're not done yet. We've got 2 offices here in town. Next year, I'm hoping to acquire a 3rd office, to grow to a $10 million agency, and we'll see what happens. But I typically talk all things entrepreneurship, self-development, and insurance on my channel. So if this is your first time tuning in, do me a huge favor. Subscribe if you get value. Destroy the like button if you get value. And follow me on my social media platforms. And let's get started. So a little bit about my background. Before I started as an insurance agency owner, I came from banking, and I worked for a bank for about 7 years. And I was working my way up the corporate ladder, and I was making okay money, like survivable money, but I was very capped, and I really didn't have the opportunity to make, the money I really wanted to make because the commission structure sucked and all that stuff. But I was using my banking career to pay for college. I was going to college for business management, and it took me 7.5 years to get my degree. And I was also in banking for 7 years as well. So as soon as I got my degree, I made a bold move and just quit banking. I quit banking. I did not have a backup plan. The only thing I did know was that I wanted to be a business owner. I had no idea what that was going to be. I didn't know what I just did. I had no idea. I just wrote it down, some of my goals, and I just tried to figure it out from there. I did, however, go work with a business client of mine at the time. And I did that for about 4 months, and as you can tell, it didn't work out. I lost a lot of money working with him, and at least the rest of my savings account, and I even had credit card debts. At the end of those 4 months, I did learn a lot, however, but I was pretty much on a commission only, kind of like a business owner, but learned a lot about entrepreneurship. After that, I quit working with this company, and I found myself kind of at a rock bottom, I guess you could say. And only thing I had left to my name was a 401k that I told myself I wasn't going to touch. During my 7 years in banking, I contributed to it, and the bank matched it. And after 7 years, along with that bank's stock, it magically grew, and I'm super grateful for it because it saved me. But I happened to have about $25,000 in that 401k that I used eventually to start my insurance office. I remember meeting with a friend. He talked me into opening an Allstate insurance office, just like he had. And he was also in banking with me. He kind of blazed the trail. I was doing this for about 1.5 to 2 years, and said, "Bro, I think you should do this." And I wasn't sure because I didn't have any management experience. I didn't have any business owner experience. I knew nothing about insurance. And I just decided to do it because I honestly had no other choices, and nothing else, felt good and sounded good. And I also looked at his life, and I was kind of inspired by his life. I got to see him travel. I got to see him just loving what he was doing. He was making great money. He was taking care of his family. And that inspired me. So I wanted a piece of that. So I decided to do it, and I took that leap. So I start the interview process, and I get approved, and I have what's left to my name, which is my $25,000 401k, and I cash it out, and I pay a bunch of taxes on it, and I start my insurance office. So, after that, the rest is history. I mean, we've been crushing it. I love this industry. This industry has changed my life, and I am dedicated to it. Hence why I talk about it on YouTube. And so if I add value to any of you guys, do me a favor, destroy that like button. Now let's get into how much I made my first year as an insurance agency owner. Now let's get into how much I made my first year as an insurance agency owner. All right, now I'm going to give you guys the total income number, and then I'm going to give you guys the total expenses, and I'm going to give you guys the net. And I'm going to give you the lesson, the biggest lesson that you need to learn out of all of this if you are interested in getting started in insurance. Now, or started opening your own insurance agency. Now, in my very first month of insurance, mind you, we have a bunch of expenses. We are business owners, right? We have expenses, we have payroll, we have advertising, marketing, leads, software, licenses. We're paying a lot of expenses. First month I make $5,000. And I really didn't make a lot of good money in the first half of the year, my first year. I would say I averaged about $14,000 a month in my first 6 months, okay? But towards the second 6 months is where it got really nice, right? Now I'm, averaging, it looks like it's about $26,000 a month from month 7 on, okay? Or month 8 on, I'm sorry. Now, if you can imagine, it sounds great. It sounds good. Wow, making $26,000 a month. It sounds amazing. My total income for my first full year as an agency owner was $212,517, okay? My total expenses for my first year was $157,000, and so the net out of all of that is $54,617. Now, my question to you is, you're probably asking, $212,000, that's a lot of money. Now, you probably think that it is, and it is. However, when you're talking about paying rent, when you're talking about paying salary and wages, when you're talking about marketing and leads and licenses, and then all these other little expenses that come up, you're still making great money, and you're in charge of your life, and I love that. But the net was about 54 grand. Now, this is where I want to give you guys a big lesson in all of this, because some of you guys are interested in getting started and you think that you can make quick money, and you're going to probably, hopefully you don't treat running a business like a glorified employee, and you don't make this money and you get all grateful and like, heck yeah, and all ahead of yourself, and then you start treating it like a job and not investing in it, not spending time in it, and then you're going to lose. The biggest lesson that I have for you guys is that if you're going to get started in this industry, be sure to reinvest. Because when people ask me how much I made my first year, I can't even tell you. I literally had to go in here and total this up and then look at my tax returns to figure out what my net truly was, because I was so busy reinvesting it all back into my business that I couldn't even tell you how much I made. I couldn't tell you how much I made for my first 3 years in business, because every profit that I made, I just put it back into the business. Let me try this marketing source. Let me try this avenue. Let me try this way of bringing in business. Let me invest in better desks. Let me get, standing desks. Let me get, let me work on the environment. Let me, get a better location, so on and so forth. Let me hire more people. Let me buy them more internet leads. And so, like I said, I couldn't tell you how much I made in those first couple years. And if you're coming into this industry thinking that you're going to come in here and just make all this great money, oh yeah, and you get residuals, yeah. I knew a lot of people that thought like that too. And then they went on to live beyond their means, or they just didn't do this the right way. They didn't build the right relationships, the right mentorships. They didn't learn from the right people. They bought cars when they didn't need certain things. They started taking trips too early, and they did all these different things, and then they saw themselves, they're no longer in this industry, right? They didn't work out. They didn't build it right. And you build it right by taking all your profits and reinvesting into it for the first couple years. You're gonna be in the red. You're gonna live in the red for several months. Even though you don't have to live in the red, you should live in the red. And a couple other things that I did that helped me, that worked to my advantage, was I lived within my means. I didn't buy my Tesla that you see now for several years, until my 4th year. I lived with my brother and a roommate for my first 3 years in business. I didn't go out much, right? I didn't take trips until my first 3 years. And I, was very, frugal in certain aspects of my business, until finally I felt like I could finally start enjoying the fruits of my labor, which didn't happen for 3.5 years, 4 years. So my message to you is, you're probably interested in getting started in the insurance industry. And if you are, great. This industry is the best industry on the planet. But do it right. don't do it for the money at first. You need to do it for a deeper reason. And for me, my reasons now are helping my team win. I'm here in my office, one of my two, and my whole purpose now is to help them become successful, help them win. How do I help them earn more money that they've never earned before? And now that I've gotten out of my own way and I don't do this for me anymore, it's starting to grow like crazy. And so hopefully that will help some of you guys in your journey. There's a ton of money to make in this industry, but do it for the right reasons and reinvest every freaking thing that you can for the first couple years. And so again, if you got some value out of this video, do me a huge favor, destroy that like button, subscribe for all things I talk, all things entrepreneurship, self-development, and insurance. Check out all of my other videos that I drop in regards as it relates to insurance agency ownership and the insurance industry. And follow me on my social media platforms. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Cut.
How long is that?
11 minutes.
Fuck yeah. Cool. And lastly, if you and your team are looking to change the way you guys do business, if you're looking for additional coaching and training, I've been using Craig Wiggins coaching for the last 4 years, and it has changed the way we do business. A lot of my content on YouTube is what I've gotten from Craig Wiggins coaching. If you and your team, or maybe you work for an agency, get your agency owner on board, go to craigwigginscoaching.com. Sign up for the monthly training. You can have unlimited users, and it's only $177 a month. But if you use the discount code Sakha, my last name, Sakha, you will get $100 off your very first month. Tell them I sent you. I promise you it'll help you and your agency. Thank you guys. Peace.